Hey, happy day. So as I explained in the previous video, link below, I'm not going to talk about divine masculine and divine feminine. I will rather refer to divine yin and divine yang, because rather than externalizing this whole journey and the whole experience, personally it's been a deeply spiritual personal journey, and I would like to focus on that, harmonizing our inner yang and inner yin, and finding how to, within ourselves, body, mind, and spirit, operate at our highest state of being. And that, by a natural course, will influence the external, which means when it comes to relationships, love, romance, intimacy, sex, etc., then these matters will impact there. So that would relate to that twin flame journey and all of that. However, I have found it very confusing to listen to guidance constantly talking about the external, because what it did and what I experienced was a lot of uh, expectation and anticipation. Woe is me for falling into a trap, the ego trap, and losing myself, so losing my yin, losing my feminine, which is what I've been working a lot on in the last few years, on womb healing, generational trauma patterning, and learning more grace and working with humility. And the feminine energy forces that we have to work with, the Valkyries, the Norse goddesses, Mary Magdalene, all the religious feminine energies, then the Hindu deities, then anyone of a feminine energy that is noteworthy is what we've been working with strongly. So anyway, moving on to, so if you can understand how I'm trying to change the narrative and we internalize things more, if we understand how to change ourselves and know ourselves and operate to the best of our ability, then by natural course we will, everyone, the whole, that's how ascension happens, because we are a God spark in the collective whole, and a blade of grass on the whole field. And so if you as a spark can operate to a point where you can maybe become inflamed, not inflamed in your body, that's you not operating to your empowered sense of your absolute all power. Inflame your life like a furnace flame, so that you always have energy and love and positivity with how you approach and deal with love. We are going to hit snags. We're bipolar beings. We are going to go down, which is a bit what's happening with the yang energy at the moment. So the yang energy is feeling a little, the wheels are spinning, and they're not wanting to really, or that energy is, our yin energy is saying, okay, I'm here, I'm in the space, it is what it is, I will deal with it, I accept it, but I feel a little trapped. I don't know how to get out of it, because, things have been so way for so long, and I'm trying to change my perspective. The masculine is in the same space, or the yang energy is at the same space. The ego wants to go forward and construct and do the right thing, but is confused about what that is. The duality, the separation. There's this, and remember that force is more about ego and chaos. So, whereas the feminine, the yin energy is about creating order in letting the dust settle, whereas the yang energy is about stirring up the dust. So it talks about this unstoppable, so there is this idea of an unstoppable force against an immovable object. So perhaps the yin energy is the immovable object, and the yang energy is the unstoppable force. And it's called the unstoppable force paradox. And it's where we ask a simple question, but there is no known answer. If there was such a thing as an object that could not be stopped, and if there existed an object that could not be moved. What would happen if these two, what would happen if they met? And it's not even if they met, but what happens when they meet? And what comes to mind is the Grand Canyon. I think the wearing away of the two eventually, well, that's change. It's slow and it's continuous, but it is change. Something's going on, even though it doesn't seem like it. And then it's about being open to change. And if we are open to change, we're open to life. And it's what are we being blind to? And the things that we could possibly be blind to are the beauty of life and any beauty around us. We could be blind to possible risks. We could be blind to possible dangers, but we could also be blind to possible blessings and rewards. And then we're blind to what's actually going on within us and without us imposing ourselves on the external. So it's complicated. So much going on right now. Can't even deal, overwhelmed. It's hard to make choices in the space. And there's this anxiety and this angst about, I need to do something, but what to do? What to do? And so instead of just putting out, we contain, and we remind ourselves that this too shall pass. Good thing to remind oneself too when one is taking psychedelics or any mind-altering substances. Time is always passing. No matter how challenging things are in life, this too shall pass. And no thing is unchangeable, as I said. And we are blindfolded to reality, or how are we blindfolded to our reality? What and where do we not want to face the truth of ourselves, of our others, of our situations? And, we don't, or we can believe we can solve problems by avoiding them. Apathy is, we can do something and we can not do something. And doing something is a way of solving the problem, doesn't necessarily make it go away. In fact, oftentimes pushing it away, ostrich, head in the sand, means that in the meantime things are getting more complicated. When we don't untangle that ball of wool right in the beginning, it can end up being quite a hell of a mess. Anyway, we don't have to deal with them. We ought to, but the reason we don't deal with them is a form of protection. It's a way of saving ourselves from potential trauma. But whatever that is too is what we need to deeply delve into and heal and do our trauma healing on, and really put our love, flow the love into whatever aspect of being that is we've are struggling with. And it shows that where we are divided against ourselves. And it's also a form of cognitive dissonance. And where and what happens when we do this, when we in this denial, and I spoke in the Divine Yin reading, link below, that there is this cognitive dissonance and having to face reality. So you can see both energies are in the same place. They're just different perspectives. And when we behave from denial instead of the Danube rivers, then what happens is it affects our moods and it influences our decisions and the actions we take. So it all starts up here, and it actually directly influences. This is the blueprint that we gain our resources from, upon which we construct. This is the scaffolding, and the deeds are the actual tangible manifestations. And then it talks about, so then it brings into relevance this concept of separation and duality, and there is actually only one divine mind that, yes, when we work in harmony with these energies, there is only one divine mind, and there is within that, when we can put our yin and yang together, that one mind is then infinitely magical, and we can be relaxed, and we can ride a wave of flow of nature. And it's about not controlling everything, and it's about when we feel the need to control, that's when we are feeling powerlessness, which our yang energy does not like. It needs to feel strong, and in order to do that, it must play to its natural traits, which is action, chaos, fire, sun, hot, fast. So when it can't be that, it can be very frustrating, and that's where anger and actual physical inflammation come out. So to end with, it's what do you choose to empower your life and yourself, versus what are you going to let go of that is detracting you from the latter. And with that, namaste in Lakesh. Happy day.